As discussed in the Study Skills module, experiencing test anxiety is natural. Most people, even those who have prepared extensively, experience some level of anxiety before and during tests. While a certain level of anxiety is helpful, too much can reduce concentration during a test. The following strategies can help you control extreme test-taking anxiety. This module will discuss tips for controlling extreme test anxiety and strategies for taking multiple choice exams. Develop good study habits. One of the most effective ways to handle test-taking anxiety is through proper preparation. Besides preparing you for the questions on a test, studying will also build your confidence, and as your confidence increases, your test anxiety will decrease. Refer to the Study Skills module to get more information on effective ways to study. Be prepared. If you're completely prepared for a test to the point of being familiar with any question that could be asked, anxiety will dramatically decrease. There is little reason to experience anxiety for a test you've prepared for. If you're studying a subject or concept that is difficult for you to understand, start early in the semester working with your professor or a tutor to get help you need. Don't cram. This one deserves repeating. Don't cram. Cramming for an exam the night before is a major cause of test anxiety. Students who take their time to regularly study for an exam throughout the term will experience less anxiety than those who decide to study a day or even hours prior to one. If you're studying a difficult subject, for example, chemistry, biology, or algebra, it's imperative that you start studying early on in the semester, as you're likely to come across concepts, topics, and subjects that require outside help. Cramming can leave you not only pressed for time, but unable to get the help you need in time. Get adequate exercise. Exercise relieves stress and increases mental function. It can also increase energy. If you take time to take care of your body, you'll experience far less anxiety all around. Get plenty of sleep. Not only is receiving adequate sleep necessary for good health, but it's also an effective way to decrease anxiety. This is why it's recommended to get plenty of sleep the night prior to a test. We recommend that you get plenty of sleep the entire week before a test. If you do not get enough sleep prior to a test, you will be fatigued, less able to concentrate, unable to remember everything, and more anxious. Eat something. Never take a test on an empty stomach. Not only do you need the nutrients necessary for proper brain function and physical energy, taking a test on an empty, grumbling stomach will make it more difficult for you to concentrate. Some students neglect to eat prior to a test because they don't want to take time away from last-minute studying. You don't have to eat a 4-course meal before every test, but at least grab an apple or some other healthy snack. Stay positive. Do not allow yourself to get overly pessimistic. Remain positive and concentrate on doing well on the test. If you dwell on negative thoughts, it will increase your anxiety and make it more difficult to perform. If you think you're going to perform poorly on a test, chances are you will. If you're confident in your ability, you're much likely to be less anxious and perform better. Stay relaxed. Take a few minutes to relax before taking a test. If you're struggling to relax, take deep breaths. Take a moment and clear your head. Focus on something completely unrelated to the test or even school. Think about something fun you're planning later during the week, or maybe a fun trip you'll be taking. Once you're calm, go in and ace the test. Focus on the learning experience. Do not be too hard on yourself if you do not perform up to your expectations on a test. Instead, learn from the experience so you can make the necessary changes for the future. Nothing is accomplished by getting stressed out over something that has already passed. Ask for help. If all else fails, ask for help. Severe test anxiety can be debilitating for students. If your mind goes completely blank every time you sit down to take a test, or you feel like you're going to pass out or throw up, you probably need to speak with your professor. Don't be scared or ashamed to seek assistance. Test anxiety can be a real psychological condition that can cause otherwise smart, hardworking students to perform poorly academically. Don't let that be you. Many of your exams, including the NCLEX, contain multiple choice questions. Since you'll no doubt encounter these types of questions on tests if you are preparing to enter college or take the NCLEX, learning some of these test-taking strategies will be very beneficial. Read the entire question. Read a multi-choice question in its entirety before glancing over the answer options. Students often think they know what a question is asking before reading it and jump straight to the most logical answer. This is a big mistake and can cost you dearly on multiple choice exams. Read each question thoroughly before reviewing answer options. Answer it in your mind first. After reading a question, answer it in your mind before reviewing the answer options. This will help prevent you from talking yourself out of the correct answer. Use the process of elimination. By using the process of elimination, cross out all the answers you know are incorrect and then focus on the remaining answers. Not only does this strategy save time, it greatly increases your likelihood of selecting the correct answer. Select the best answer. It's important to select the best answer to the question being asked, not just an answer that seems correct. Often many answers will seem correct, but there is typically a best answer to the question that your professors are looking for. Read every answer option prior to choosing a final answer. This may seem like a no-brainer to some, but it is a common mistake students make. As we pointed out in the previous section, there is usually a best answer to every multiple choice question. If you quickly assume that you know the correct answer without first reading every answer option, you may end up not selecting the best answer. Answer the questions you know first. If you're having difficulty answering a question, move on and come back to tackle it once you've answered all the questions you know. Sometimes answering the easier questions first can offer you insight into answering more challenging questions. Make an educated guess. If it will not count against your score, make an educated guess for any question you're unsure about. On some standardized tests, incorrect answers are penalized. For example, a correct answer may be worth 2 points, an unanswered question 0 points, and an incorrect answer -1 point. On these tests, you can still make an educated guess, but only when you're able to eliminate at least 1 or 2 incorrect answers. Pay attention to these words. Particularly pay attention to the words not, sometimes, always, and never. An answer that includes always must be irrefutable. If you can find a single counterexample, then the answer is not correct. The same holds true for the word never. If an answer option includes never, a single counterexample will indicate the answer is not correct. Stick with your first choice, but not always. It's best to stick with the answer you first choose after reading the question. It's usually counterproductive to constantly second-guess yourself and change your answer. However, this doesn't mean your first answer choice is necessarily the correct answer. While multiple choice tests aren't usually intentionally designed to trick or confuse students, they are designed to test students' knowledge and ability. To this end, the answer options provided will often include the most common wrong answer among the choices, or answers that seem logical but are ultimately incorrect, or the best answer. All of the above and none of the above. When you encounter all of the above and none of the above answer choices, do not select all of the above if you are pretty sure any one of the answers provided is incorrect. The same applies to none of the above, if you are confident that at least one of the answer choices is true. when there are seemingly two correct answers. When two answers are correct in a multiple choice question with an all of the above option, then it's probably the correct choice. Place your bet on the positive option. In most cases, a positive option is probably true if there is also a negative one. The more information, the better. More often than not, the correct answer usually contains more information than the other options. This is good to know if you must guess. Find more tips by checking out Prep Step for Colleges on the UALR Library website. And for additional help, set up an appointment with Justin LaFoon at the link on this slide or call the Advising and Support Center at the number listed.